There are three components in fried chicken. The most important being that it has to be crunchy. Two, it has to be very moist. Third, the flavor has to penetrate all the way to the bone. Every bite you take in is all the flavor is not just on the skin, on the batter. It has to go all the way to the center of the chicken. Doro Soul Food is Ethiopian-inspired fried chicken. But what we do differently is we incorporate Ethiopian ingredients in our spices, mixture, and sauces, which makes the chicken more flavorful. All right, first things first, we're gonna butcher our chickens. This is straight out of the box, very dry. So this helps with the, keep it crispy. We choose to keep the bone on because one, it keeps the chicken moist and also brings a good amount of flavor. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'll grab from here, I just clean all the unnecessary fat, right? So that way, when I'm butchering, everything is ready to go. You come back, make sure there's no fat. These are the things that I call danger to your crunch. As I'm working, I'm finding always the angle where I wanna cut. And then this side gives me this angle right here. Ideally butchering every other day. And we go anywhere from 15 to 25 cases. And then here you have your dark meat, your thighs, leg, and wings. And then this is for our fried chicken sandwich. We don't use the skin. For fried chicken sandwich, it just gets too greasy, in my opinion. Previously, I had worked at a Melange. One of our most popular dish was the National, which is a Doro Wot inspired chicken sandwich. And it became really, really popular. So the Doro National fried chicken sandwich really opened the gateways and the inspiration to create Doro Soul Food concepts. So now we're making our dry rub for our chicken and then our marinade. So we start with garlic powder, black pepper, herb mix, and turmeric, obviously for a good amount of color. And this is where we come in with the Ethiopian flavor. Berbere, this is our staple spice blend that we use to make a variety of our preparations. So it's like a flavored paprika. Going back to that crispy aspect of it, and something I obviously again picked up from Eric, is Evercrisp, which helps your chicken stay crispy for a longer period of time. As I was implementing the fried chicken concept, I started looking into, hey, who has the best fried chicken? And that's when I discovered Eric from Peking House. I'm gonna be honest, I did the drive to New York. Actually was there when it first opened, the first week. I wanted to have that crunchy aspect of how that worked. Shout out to Eric, was our inspiration. All right. Fully coated all the way. See, obviously on these one, I don't do as much. If you notice on the breast, I do a good amount. And then same thing for these. So you have to be a little bit delicate. Once we have our dry rub, we're gonna let it sit for maybe about an hour, 2 hours, just for the flavors to penetrate through. So again, so now that we have our dry rub mix, we make that marinade, the wet marinade. We do buttermilk half a gallon to half a gallon of buttermilk. So we use triple blend of flours. This is really where the crunch comes from. By using bread flour, one, it helps get more dense, so it helps you from creating like a soggy crunch, right? Another part that we use is regular all-purpose flour. So if I just use just AP flour, the crunch is much thinner, right? So then over time, it starts getting soggy or it just cooks too fast. And then we finally finish with a self-rising flour. So the reason we use self-rising flour for this particular, on the marinade, over time, kind of aerates the gluten. When you get that crunch, it's not too dense. So the reason why we first do the dry rub for the chicken is going to continue to brine and push the flavor all the way to the bone. I'm whisking with my hands because I don't want it to be like a smooth paste, right? I want it to be lumpy essentially. So because what happens is these little lumps that stay the little flours, they're going to rehydrate over time and they stick to the chicken. So now that we have the dark meat marinated, you can freely just work it. But for the breast, you have to be a little bit more delicate. So for these, we actually do it individually. But when I was thinking of this concept, I was going through hard times. It's almost like a way of, again, finding comfort. So now we're gonna make our kibe. This is a seasoned spiced butter. Goes on everything. We use this to make our own stews and also for our hot oils. Once you have your butter going, your predominant flavor is korarima. Once it's clarified, you add basobla, which is the Ethiopian basil. And then you add the coarse. This is what brings that very flavorful, sweet, umami flavor into a lot of our preparations. We let this stay overnight, all the flavors push through. So the next day you have this really nice gold, bright, shiny, clarified butter. So now we're gonna make our Doro Wot. Wot meaning stews, which is our base for our mac and cheese and also our national dish in Ethiopia. When we think about Doro Wot, onion is the essential ingredient. Think of like French onion soup. It brings like the body texture. We're gonna cook it for like, let's say about an hour or two. As the moisture goes down, we add garlic and ginger. We sweat that out again. Once it's completely dry, we add our kibe. And as soon as this starts cooking, start releasing aromatics, Doro Wot is always, for most Ethiopians, it's a symbol of holiday, joy, family gathering, and that's where it can't get any more comfort. Doro Wot is our soul food. We're gonna let this cook until the fat starts separating from the onions, and that's when you know it's ready. The one flavor that is actually in our Doro concept is our mac and cheese, in which we incorporate some of the wot into the bechamel. So now this is what the Doro Wot looks like after it's been cooked for hours. This is really where that flavor starts coming through. Now we add our cheese. We use mild cheddar, mozzarella, and Monterey Jack. Now we're gonna assemble our mac and cheese. You see how it's already starting getting thick? So halfway, we add same 3 cheeses in the center. This is what is gonna give you that nice center pull. This goes in the oven. Ideally, before you fry, you wanna let it rest and come into temperature. If you fry it from cold, by the time your temperature pushes through to the center, you're gonna start burning your outer side. So we let it temper for at least about an hour or two. This is the one been marinated for 24 hours. So final step, right before we drop it in the fryer, we dredge it in our triple flour and triple starch blend, which consists of double O flour, bread flour, all-purpose flour, and potato starch, cornstarch, and tapioca. This makes it extra crunchy, it keeps it from getting soggy. To be able to make sure that everything cooks at the same time and the same temperature, we start with the thicker parts of the breast, and then we do the front side of the chicken breast. So we double fry our chicken. We first start with the lower temperature, about 300 to 325. That helps us keep the color, put the heat through without the skin too dark. And then once we fry that, we let it rest, so all the heat goes through, it gets nice and moist. So as we get orders in, we flash fry it at an oil that is about 350. See what we're talking about? See that crunch? That's the difference. That's what we're creating. You see that? Who gets some more crunch? Nobody had beat me yet. Chef Eric, I challenge you to a fried chicken showdown. Like when we know it's ready and where we want it to get to is about that nice golden color. As you can see, this one is a little lighter compared to that one. So essentially, we're pretty much like frying all day, keep up with order. Every day, all day, we're frying. We've operated pretty much since I opened Doro Soul Food. We've operated at the care and delivery location, and now we're moving into our new space. I'm assuming, obviously, we're gonna double in production. Because this location is bigger, and also we're doing indoor dining, we expect to get a lot busier. So this also gives us a chance to get ahead a little bit, taste a few recipes along the way if we want to tweak a few things. So now we go into like our hot oil. So our chicken is served 3 ways. 1 is naked, 2 is berbere hot, the 3rd one is mitmita burn boil. On the berbere, we'll glaze it in a mix of kibe, berbere, salt and sugar, and smoke powder. Same for the mitmita, which is made with bird's eye chili, that's our hot. And we just glaze it, kind of like you do a traditional hot chicken. When I started thinking of introducing the Ethiopian flavors with my background and training, what best place to do it in DC, which is the biggest Ethiopian population next to Ethiopia. So that's why I brought the fried chicken concept to DC. And I don't think no one in DC is doing Ethiopian-inspired flavor fried chicken. I haven't seen it also anywhere in the United States.